2016, I was lost. I didn't know where I was heading to, but then I saw this ad about the Tony Elumelu Foundation, and I applied. That was the pivotal moment.
The seed from the Tony Elumelu Foundation is the bedrock all our success is sitting on.
When the Tony Elumelu Foundation found me, I was small.
If the foundation had just given me this money without taking me through the mentoring program, maybe this business would still be an idea.
Africa is a land of opportunities. There's no better time to be and become an entrepreneur in Africa. Government is to set the right environment, but the private sector must take lead and take charge. Having been an entrepreneur myself, let me help to create more. That is the whole driving force behind the Tony Elumelu Foundation. Through the Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Program, I am committing $100 million to support the next generation of African entrepreneurs. The program represents a decade-long commitment to support 10,000 African entrepreneurs and startups. The program is open to entrepreneurs from all 54 African countries. Over the next 10 years, our goal is to generate 1 million jobs through these 10,000 businesses and to help contribute at least $10 billion to revenues across Africa through these businesses. What we wanted to do was to democratize luck. We're not targeting any sector. We just want people who believe in themselves, who have ideas that can develop the continent. And so that was what drove us.
Welcome to Aerial Industries. This is our flight site and our test facility. This is where we believe that we're about to revolutionize not only agriculture in Africa as we know it today, but the aviation industry. Our focus being in agriculture doesn't mean that we are not also interested in other fields. So we now also teach how to use and operate drones here.
The inspiration behind my business came out when I had my daughter. I had her in London and it was very, very expensive to buy her furniture. And I brought it back to Nigeria thinking that, it would be a walk in the park to clear it to customs. And with customs, I heard that furniture was contraband. So I had to pay an extra 250,000 naira to actually clear the furniture. And I thought about it. I said, why can't I actually even buy furniture in Nigeria? So I did my research, spoke to my business partner. So we said, okay, you know what, let's try and see how we can start doing this as a business.
We use drones to monitor different things like infrastructure, which encapsulates roads, bridges, land surveying, disaster response. So we track building construction, and we give you the confidence that what you're paying for is what's happening.
What Usafi intends to do is to bridge the gap of sanitation, and we have a modern technology, which is a green toilet, and we intend to roll this out in the market and specifically target schools. And the whole idea is to phase out the methods of waste management within schools, that is use of pit latrines.
My inspiration comes actually mostly from the fabrics and then also my clients. My designs are mostly simple. I try to maintain the colors that are on the fabric that I'm working with. I don't like things that are too busy, and just very classy, simple, nice wares.
I started Mama Money due to my personal experience as a young girl with a widowed mother. So feeding in the house was a very big challenge for us. My mother was a full-time housewife. She had no skill and no income. So there was basically no fund in the house. So we had to go begging sometimes, family, friends to give us money to feed. So with all this experience, I said to myself, no child deserves to go through what we did, myself and my siblings. So I decided to start investing in women like my mother, so that when they have money in their hands, they're able to educate their children, they're able to feed their children.
My inspiration for setting up Cafe Blendia started when grandma started having diabetic crisis. And I started wondering, we have to give her bitter leaf to drink. So I was wondering, excuse me, does it mean that if you're sick, you have to always eat medicine? Are there no nice tasting foods that people can eat and still stay healthy? And started doing research, and I fell in love with what I got researching about tiger nuts, and that was what I picked it up from there.
My brand is Fabuloso by Nanu. It's a brand for the women who want something different and want to be able to be in a space and be presented as themselves and not just a counterfeit or like a replication. I came up with it because I wanted women, when you come in, get something that you feel is you, that is authentic, that has an African feel to it. People can also get good stuff here in Africa, then they can get it all over the world. So people can be coming to us to get the stuff, not us going to them to get the stuff.
When I have a broken down vehicle, I fix my own cars. I know what's wrong. I know that, if my car is behaving this way, I know why. If I perceive the smell, I know where the smell is coming from. I would know how to fix it. And presently what I'm doing is encouraging other women. I have a program called Heels on Wheels. What we do is that we teach women basic preventive maintenance. We let them know about their cars, what they should check in the mornings before they leave the house, how often they should service their car, what they should do. So if I'm running such a program, I should be able to do the basic repairs on my own vehicle.
In Uganda now and in Africa, governments no longer are creating enough jobs. And now the opportunity in Africa is in agribusiness. And yet our education system trained us to seek white-collar jobs. So ever since I started my project after the Tony Elumelu Foundation, I've recruited young men whom I recruit and take on to my model farm and demonstration. I train them right from nursery bed preparation through the life cycle of the crop. So in 3 months, when they sell, I believe they will have got the skill and the knowledge to begin on themselves. Then I graduate them, they can begin. I can assure you, it's marvelous when you see the mindset change achieved among the youth in my region, among the youth in Uganda. It's magical.
As a foundation, we invested so much in building huge online training facility, which we use to train our entrepreneurs 12 weeks in a year. We can open this up to as many as the world is ready to support. Then at the end of the training, they are certified, and we'll give them $5,000 to support them to take off.
Why I have so much love for the foundation, because I was just coming into entrepreneurship, and the 12 weeks training exposed me to how I can really run my business. Even as me having the technical skills, I also need the entrepreneurial skills to be able to run a profitable business.
For me, the program, the most impactful was the training, which was, it was really tough, but it was also amazing. It has made me look at my business in a deeper level than what I used to. And now I'm able to start seeing what's important and what is wasting a lot of time, yet it's not bringing in either the money or making an impact.
What really stood out for me was the learning material and basically the 12-week program, and very, very specifically the legal aspects of the program. It's something I'd never really thought through critically in my business, and in my previous times of setting up my business, I'd exposed myself to legal risks and had lost my, I think 3 times I'd lost my businesses.
Alors, quand j'ai débuté la transformation des flux locaux, je le faisais chez moi, parce que je n'avais pas de capital financier pour me lancer réellement. Alors, la fondation Tony Elumelu m'a offert deux opportunités. D'abord, c'est la formation. Les 12 semaines de cours m'ont vraiment apporté parce que je suis économiste pur. Le business était un peu inconnu. Je voulais me lancer, mais je me suis lancée, mais ça n'allait pas bien. Avec les 12 semaines de cours, j'ai pu vraiment cerner mon business, affiner certains points. Après, il y a eu le capital de démarrage, le site capital. ça m'a permis d'avoir un local, quelques éléments pour débuter.
On a very personal level, I would say the moral support. I mean, aside from receiving or getting anything from you guys, just that knowledge that if I did ever need to pick up a phone and talk to someone and say, I'm trying to figure out my way around this, can you advise me? Like, or shoot one of you guys an email, I know that you're there. It's those little things where you know that you have a family who have your back and who are always going to support you in what you do and who want to see you succeed.
I have seen these young Africans prosper, from some who didn't even know what to do with their lives until they got the $5,000 seed capital from Tony Elumelu Foundation and the mentorship and the training, to now having annual turnover in excess of $3 million. That gladdens my heart. That to me is a dream come true.
After the 12-week program, I started going to farms to carry out what I thought was now a solid business that I had developed through the Tony Elumelu Foundation. So I went to the East. So when it was time for me to go out and do a demonstration, I took the drone and then I activated the props. And the minute it took off, the whole scene changed. And in no time, I was circled by all these villagers. And then I explained what this thing could do for them, right? And that's when the revelation came, that what we had as a concept of even what these drones could do was so limited that the villagers knew where their issues were, where their pains were. So they started sharing this. So you mean that last year when Okoro had this problem on his farm, you mean that if this thing was out, that he could actually gather, he could have seen, when the invaders came and, did stuff on his farm, the other guy, so you mean that so at some point I also got them to spray, right? So I turned on the sprayer on the farm. So he said, oh, so you mean that we could have used this thing instead of carrying this heavy knapsacks that the government was giving us 2 years back? So that's how it really started, where they became our ads. Right? So there was now word of mouth that they were now passing on the opportunities and the ideas both to us and their fellow village farmers as well. We have on the table today about 100,000 farmers that are waiting to see how we can deploy our systems that they can utilize. Today, Aerial Industries' focus is in manufacturing our own local drones. So we don't just provide the service, but we make our own drones and then we provide these drones for the farmers.
Alors aujourd'hui, Okuméa Gabon, c'est une équipe de 11 personnes qui travaillent au quotidien pour mettre à disposition des touristes ces packages dynamiques et personnalisables. Nous avons une valeur marchande de 23 millions de francs CFA et nous avons un impact direct social parce que 2,5% de nos bénéfices sont reversés à une association qui lutte justement contre la protection des parcs nationaux du Gabon. Aujourd'hui, Okuméa Gabon, en plus d'être une entreprise économique viable, souhaite être une entreprise responsable, capable d'aider les populations qui bénéficient de ces prestations.
I stayed in Sierra Leone because what we do was so acutely needed. For example, the role we played during the flood and landslide last year, when the disaster hit, the government and the UN and other agencies, they needed to see quickly where there were issues and where there was further risk to life. What you would usually have done is to send people in there on foot, and this is during a time where it's rainy. There's a lot. The ground is treacherous. So our solution was timely in that we could send our drones at a far distance into the danger zone, get the information that they needed, and they'll be able to advise on how they should respond to the emergencies.
Through our work, we've been able to impact almost 6,000 women. In 2017, we set up a soap factory. We get women from that community to come in to work when we have huge orders. So we pay them daily. We did that in Lagos. So at the beginning of this year, we got a call from the Edo State government that they loved what we were doing and they wanted to replicate it in Edo State.
I have a core team made up of myself and other automotive engineers and technicians in my team. I have with me here Ufon. She's from the University of Uyo. I have Jessica from Odumegu University, and I have Bukola. Both of them are technicians, and Bukola is our customer service manager. Omolara is our admin manager. She's in charge of it. Then we have Happiness. Happiness is our business development executive. These are my technicians. They are doing very, very well. There's nothing they cannot do on their cars now. We have Sophia here. Sophia is a technician and our service advisor.
We realize that the problem we have can't just be fixed in one day, and neither can it be fixed by just one foundation. So we took up advocacy to the world. If you are at Davos and you see the CEO of the foundation, moving from one meeting to the other, talking to global leaders, telling them how they should intervene in Africa in the 21st century, the manner truly sustainable. And we'll go to the World Bank, we'll go to Europe, everywhere, trying to engage, and I'm happy that the world is responding.
We got a support through Autodesk. We were called out to the UN just a few months back to do a talk on the application of aerial robotics on farms in Africa. There's been a series of calls, opportunities with some of the local banks here to collaborate with them. We just got signed 300 hectares of farmland in Ogun State. We've got another 1,000 that is coming through from Nasarawa. The list just keeps going on and on.
We've actually done a couple of international runway shows. We've done African Fashion Week Amsterdam. We've done African Fashion Week London. And it was a very, very good experience. In fact, the African Fashion Week London just came after I participated in the Tony Elumelu Foundation entrepreneurship program. I met a lot of designers from all over the world. African designers are very talented. I got a lot of feedback. A lot of people were interested in my pieces. Like Stockist magazines. I was even featured in the December issue of British Vogue. Yeah, so it was an editorial piece about African fashion.
I went for an interview with the American consulate, and I said I was a Tony Elumelu entrepreneur. They started looking at me differently. A lot of people think that if such a global organization like that has actually said that our business can actually transform Africa, they actually believe us and they want to give us more opportunities.
I have hosted presidents of this nation. I was awarded the most impactful Tony Elumelu entrepreneur in Africa. And my firm, since the intervention of the Elumelu Foundation, has been a beehive of activity as I host visitors from across Uganda. I host visitors from across Africa who are coming to learn what I call and what I've popularized as the 1 acre model.
We've had many opportunities after the Tony Elumelu Foundation, the Mandela Washington Fellowship, the U.S. Embassy in Lagos started funding us. So they funded our trainings for 3 years in different communities in Lagos. I never imagined that Mama Money will be this successful because I just started with a heart to help women in my community. But what Mama Money has evolved to today, it's just amazing. I'm still surprised.
We believe that our role is not only to empower young Africans directly, the 10,000 of them we set out to empower, but more importantly, we believe that we should be a voice, advocate, catalyst for economic empowerment of Africa. And so we embrace partnership as a way of assembling people who have the heart to help eradicate poverty in a manner that's sustainable in Africa, to come together and uplift these young Africans.
The foundation has a Pan-African approach to its project. The ICRC has a Pan-African presence in its operations. We are bringing our presence in the field close to the people we are targeting to support. We are bringing as well finance to provide the seed capital for the project, and the foundation is bringing the skills, the competence, the training module and systems that will provide basically the people with the skills they need, basically to use the funding that we are bringing to them into the best way with the best results.
AFD is probably the first bilateral donor in Africa. It is totally normal and natural that these two organizations work together to ease the financing of the startups supported by Tony Elumelu Foundation. So it means that AFD will provide a 70% guarantee automatically to all loans granted by UBA Bank, starting with UBA Bank, to this startup also supported by the Tony Elumelu Foundation program.
This recent partnership that was signed when President Macron visited Lagos is one that was designed to support young African entrepreneurs. The French Development Agency, AFD, put in place a support line guaranteed to support young African entrepreneurs who have great business ideas. This is the kind of support our young ones need to succeed. And I'm happy that UBA has decided to be a partner bank that will help touch lives and improve lives of these young Africans. This is the way to go. This is what we want others to also begin to do.
For us, we emphasize one is to be able to work with the Tony Elumelu Foundation, largely to look at how we can build capacity of emerging entrepreneurs, but also existing entrepreneurs to scale up on their interventions to be able to create jobs and wealth for Nigerians, and of course across Africa. The second area, which is very, very critical, is partnering with the Tony Elumelu Foundation would actually help us create innovative financing instruments, that are more applicable to small businesses and especially startups that are basically not served by conventional banking instruments.
This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Rise up to meet it. I wish you all a wonderful 2 days of learning and networking.
So when I look at young Africans, I like the energy level, I like the creativity, I like the resilience. They're all so excited about the future, which is so important because people who have economic hope don't want to kill themselves or go into extremism. So it's so exciting to see joy and hope in the faces of our young Africans. And my message and encouragement to young African entrepreneurs is continue to be positive about the future, work very hard, keep working hard, be very resilient, don't give up. If we go there, you even surpass what we have achieved. So hang in there and be very, very positive about the future.